Welcome to Fight News Now Extra. I'm John Pollock alongside Robin Black. This coming Saturday, the UFC is debuting in Poland with a card that is going to feature a rematch 8 years in the making, Robin. But let's be honest, it was only in the last few months we actually thought this fight was going to happen. Mirko Krakow, Gabriel Gonzaga, you go back to April of 2007, the same month where Matt Serra defeated George St. Pierre, two of the biggest upsets all within a 1 month period.
Yeah, and I'm working on a breakdown for our preview show for Saturday, right now, actually, right before I walked on here, and I'll go back to it right after.
It is chaotic out there, by the way.
Mayhem.
The making of these segments is something to behold.
It's true. But it's a weird one because you look at it, I watched this fight 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, looking for the moment where Gabriel Gonzaga creates that environment where that kick's going to land. Looking for the moment where he sets it up. Or looking for the moment where he sees some specific chink in the armor of Mirko Krakow, and it ain't there.
And you had a magnifying glass on that Fight Pass footage.
Yeah, and it ain't there. Literally, he was like, throw head kick now. And hit him with it. Like, it was not set up in a particular way. There were certain things in the environment of that fight that created that possibility, but he just kind of felt it, threw a head kick, it landed, and then the man crumpled. So it's a fascinating one because every fight is just a series of choices, and the choice to throw that head kick at that exact moment of time just worked out really well.
And I think even when we are 8 years, removed from that first fight, Gabriel Gonzaga is still fighting top-level heavyweights. He is coming off of 2 losses. One of those losses was to Stipe Miocic, who Mirko Krakow brought to train with him for this particular fight. I think that's everyone's kind of silver lining. Are we going to see anything different from Mirko Krakow? When deep down, Robin, we spoke to the guy. I just don't know what you can anticipate from Mirko Krakow at age 40. It's not a slight against his career. That's just how fighters evolve in this sport. It's how long you can maintain that prime, and Mirko Krakow is going to try one more time on Saturday.
Yeah, Mirko Krokop's built the whole thing, yes, around the left head kick. The right kick, that's the hospital. The left kick, that's the morgue or the cemetery. But he's built it around that, but he's also built it around just being a real hard man. Like as hard a man as walks the earth. And he wants to go win this fight with that hard man mentality. And that's why I'm interested in this fight, because part of me believes he can absolutely do that. He's also 5-0 in rematches. 5-0 in rematches. I mean, when he goes in a second time, he either knows something about you or having had the experience to go with that hard mentality, he just has the necessary belief to beat you. So I really like this heavyweight matchup. I really do. I'm happy for Mirko Krakow too. We spoke with him. He was, sometimes he's cold and hard. And this time he was very warm and inviting and giving us information about his life and his career. And you want to see him do well. But Gabe's a jiu-jitsu purist, and he wants his win too. So it's a great heavyweight fight.
Maybe we'll get a contrast, and he'll become an analyst with UFC, where we get these like big, elaborate graphs, and he'll just simply kick head.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just
exactly.
two words from Mirko Krakow breaking down fights.
That's it.
The 2-word breakdown.
This sport gets more and more and more and more complicated. But does it always need to? Because sometimes kick head is what you need to do.
A lot of people that are tuning into this card, maybe they've never seen Jan Blachowicz before. He's going to be taking on Jimmy Manuwa, who's been out of action for over a year as he returns in the light heavyweight division. Who is Jan Blachowicz as a man that has called numerous fights of his from KSW? He's
a star. He's legit. If you have seen him in the UFC, he was taking out Ilir Latifi with a brutal liver kick. He fights from both stances, but like a lot of guys, is very popular right now in the offense in the sport, is to move to southpaw and build your fight around that left body kick. So that's what we've already seen him do. But he's stoic. He moves very measured. He's not flashy at 205 or 185 pounds, and he has fought at both. He's very measured and very calculating and very analytical in how he dishes it out, and he's very good everywhere. And he's kind of Ivan Drago.
He is, and I think that it's something that me and Robin were discussing, the fact that, yes, this is a new market for the UFC, a new country that they are going into in Poland, but I think you're going to have a very educated fan base. And you also have the comparison in KSW, who are not just putting on shows at VFW halls. They are running big arenas.
Stadiums.
They have a lot of talented fighters at KSW. So you do have a big comparison point for this Polish audience that is, yes, UFC is coming for the first time, but it'll be interesting to see any comparisons from fans that watch both.
Yeah, we know that ONE FC, or I guess it's just called ONE now, because FC was very confusing, I guess.
Get the F out.
Yeah, get the F right out of there. But we know that they're big in certain areas of Europe, but KSW in Poland is the biggest non-UFC show on earth. It is the one territory that's out there in the world that has a big, powerful, super successful mixed martial arts show. KSW does arenas and sometimes stadiums. Their television numbers, they will be the #1 most watched television program in their time slot. Not sporting program, not fighting program, TV program. And they do crazy production, pyro and lights and like crazy production. So the great thing is that audience knows fighting, loves fighting, and they'll love getting to see what the UFC product is. But the challenge is the UFC is going to feel like the smaller show of the two to every single person in that audience.
And maybe the most important fight, at least in terms of an immediate championship ramification, is for Joanne Calderwood. She's taking on Marina Moroz, who is a 5-0 fighter, not very well known to a lot of people. But a Joanne Calderwood victory, you would have to think, Robin, that opens the door for a strawweight title fight with Joanna Jędrzejczyk for that Scotland card coming up this July.
Yeah, and we know Scotland and England and Ireland and all of that little series of islands up there, they're really the ones who have been bitten by MMA right now. So that would be exciting for Calderwood to get that chance. And she's facing off against a talented Polish fighter, but there is actually a killer at 115 pounds from Poland. Her name is Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and she actually is fighting currently for the KSW organization. If she ever becomes free, that's the fighter you need to see, the Polish 115-pound fighter. In my opinion, one of the top 115-pounders in the world, certainly the top in the world outside of the UFC. So Poland's going to be a work in progress, but it's going to be great, and we're excited to have this main card here on Fight Network Live this Saturday.
Yes, we'll have tons of coverage Saturday starting 2 p.m. Eastern Time with our preview show leading into the main card, which airs exclusively here in Canada on Fight Network, featuring Mirko Krokop and Gabriel Gonzaga. But up next, it's more Fight News Now Extra. Stay tuned.